Hello and welcome. I'm Eric Gao, and here's what happened this week. Taiwan's largest ever military exercises are less than a month away. And for the first time, they'll include the simulated defense of the country's main airport. Recon explains.
Taiwan is getting ready for its largest annual military drills, the Hangguang exercises. For 5 days in late July, the country will practice defending against an all-out invasion from China. And for the first time, the military will rehearse repelling an attack on Taiwan's largest airport, Taoyuan International. The Transport and Defense Ministries are already working together to minimize any disruptions, though dozens of flights will be affected.
1小时的汉光演习里面会发飞航的通告让一些飞机就不要在演习的范围内来跟这个演习发生这个冲突。9点到11点，那航班现在整个因为在调配了。
This anti-takeover drill will be one of the main operations of July's war games, involving both Air Force and Special Forces. It's part of a push by the military to step up security of key infrastructure like ports and air bases. But analysts say that Taoyuan Airport is important for another reason.
If Taiwan Airport is lost, okay, there are highways that link directly from the airport to the Taipei city. That allows the enemy to quickly get into city and achieve the decapitation strike, trying to capture Taiwan's leadership.
Taiwan has conducted similar anti-invasion drills in the past. Troops take on the role of Chinese soldiers by dressing up in red helmets and gear and dropping from helicopters or airplanes. But now the military has the opportunity to practice in one of the most likely combat sites.
It is such a luxury to be able to exercise in the location, in the same location that you are going to fight. So because by doing so, you can understand the various terrain, advantage locations, disadvantage locations.
Other than getting its troops ready to fight, Taiwan has also been investing in air defense weapons, like the American-made Stinger missile and the Avenger anti-air system. Weapons that could protect the airport by stopping enemy troops from landing there at all.
Those type of systems that can get the enemies over water before they can even get close to Taiwan, I think it's critical. They are mobile, they are survivable, they can be hidden. These are the systems that Taiwan need to have in order to defend the Taoyuan airport.
With less than a month until the drills kick off, Taiwan's military is hoping to make the most of this special opportunity, not only to train troops on how to defend its largest airport, but also to stop an invasion before it can reach the site in the first place. Andy Xue and Recon for TaiwanPlus.
While Taiwan practices defending its airport, the U.S. is helping the country monitor the seas. Washington has gifted a drone to Taiwan's Coast Guard. Jaime is back with this report on how drones are playing a bigger role in the country's defense.
This is the Jump 20. It's a U.S.-made drone and one of the newest tools for Taiwan's defense. Taiwan's Coast Guard says the U.S. has given it one of the drones free of charge and offered training on how to operate it. The drone is meant to help the Coast Guard stop crime at sea, but it's capable of much more.
所以除了它上面的这些镜头之外，那它可以载有限的武器，比如说像这一次在乌克兰看到，就是可以载小型的 mortar 的小炮弹或者是手榴弹是可以的。不过它最重要还是说在做侦查的功能。
To fight Russia's invasion, Ukraine has used a variety of drones and unmanned systems. Drones can provide valuable information about the location of enemy forces, and they're also cheap. And for a military like Taiwan's, short on personnel and money, every dollar counts.
I think developing drone is good for our defense because our problem of our defense is we're short of human resource. Our soldiers is not so many, and we don't have sufficient equipment to make our soldiers to guard every position.
Taiwan is not just getting new drones, it's also making the most of the ones it already has. Earlier this year, the military and Taiwan's top weapons maker, the Zhongshan Institute, announced plans to create a drone fleet. They're upgrading existing commercial drones to a military standard and making sure they're battle ready. One of those drones is this Capricorn, a low-altitude aircraft that looks like a mini helicopter. It's already being used by the Army as an eye in the sky to help troops on the ground. Out of the 50 Capricorns to be retrofitted, 14 have already been delivered, and the rest will be finished by the end of this year.
特别的是，它很多技术是来自商用的无人机，所以价格会比较便宜。这是中科院目前可能在结合这个military grade 跟那个 commercial grade 两个把它涵盖起来。原因就在说要做成本的控制。预备，放。
Taiwan is under threat from neighboring China, which has not ruled out the use of force to bring the country under its control. Beijing spends 11 times more on defense than Taipei and has a much larger military. But Taiwan is trying to look further than just numbers. It's betting that smart spending on drones and other tech can help bridge the gap with China's military might. Howard Zhang and Jaime Ocon for TaiwanPlus.
Meanwhile, a local military supplier is in hot water. They've been passing off Chinese-made materials as their own products. Joyce Zeng has this report.
The last line of defense. In most modern-day armed forces, bulletproof vests are one of the most important pieces of equipment for individual soldiers. And the standards for companies supplying Taiwan's troops with their protective gear is extremely high. But one subcontractor may have severely compromised these regulations. Military equipment supplier Recon has been charged with using fabrics from China to make the bulletproof vests for Taiwan's army and police.
掩饰未实质生产制造抗弹纤维布的事实，而将中国制的抗弹纤维布成品出货于军备具205厂，以此手法从中获得超过新台币6700万元的不法利益。
In 2018, the company won a bid to supply Taiwan's Armaments Bureau with 450,000 meters of anti-stretch bulletproof cloth. But they've been accused of swapping out labels on China-made fabrics and passed the shipment off as its own Taiwan-made product. Any use of Chinese products in Taiwan's military and government systems, from fabrics to communication equipment, is banned for security reasons.
大陆货来冲刺，那这样的话会不会造成国安的问题？我认为都有疑虑。还有这个是个防弹背心，如果是电子产品呢？是个通讯装备呢？
Last year, a Taiwanese subcontractor was found to have used missile parts from China, which also set off national security alarms. As for Recon, prosecutors say the head of the company confessed when confronted with the evidence. He's now been released on a $16,000 bail, but investigations are ongoing to find out how much of the company's materials have been used by Taiwan's armed forces. Scott Huang and Joyce Zhen for TaiwanPlus.
Accusations triggered by the Me Too movement in Taiwan continue this week. A top Taiwanese diplomat is one of the latest high-profile figures to be implicated. Bing Wang reports.
Less than a year after taking up the post, Taiwan's representative to Thailand, Zhuang Suohan, has resigned for personal reasons. He now faces accusations of sexual harassment. Zhuang had allegedly touched his secretary's hands and repeatedly asked her to meet him in his hotel room. The secretary then reported the incident, leading to the diplomat's resignation. Taiwan's foreign ministry confirmed a complaint was made and are preparing for a more in-depth investigation.
经初步调查属实，基于零容忍的最高标准，即在第一时间要求庄大使辞职，除持续对当事人表达关心外，并视其需要提供心理支持方案及调整工作环境。
Zhuang released a statement denying the accusations and stated he would fully cooperate with an investigation. He claims he held his secretary's hand to acknowledge a job well done. He also invited his secretary to his room to review itineraries and revise an English speech. The allegation has raised concerns from across the political spectrum.
诸位单位接连传出性骚疑云，本席要求外交部全面彻查，并且安排外管性平课程， 否则可能伤及台湾国际形象。
外交部都有义务跟责任对外讲清楚、说明白，否则会让外界觉得始终是有黑箱的感觉。
Since last month, around 150 people have come out against the alleged abusers, sparked by a popular Taiwanese TV series that dealt with sexual harassment. It's become the country's biggest wave in the Me Too movement, a global campaign against sexual misconduct. It's opened a conversation about inappropriate behaviors and power dynamics that activists hope will lead to social change. Klein Wong and Bing Wong for TaiwanPlus.
There's been a shakeup in the presidential office. A spokesperson has resigned as rumors surface about her personal life. Leslie Liao has more.
Kolas Yotaka has stepped down as a spokesperson for President Tsai Ing-wen. She first took up the role in 2020, but left it to run for leader of her home county of Hualien last year. She lost that race and returned to the presidential office early this year. But now she's left the job once again. She's tendered her resignation, citing personal reasons. It comes after a report surfaced alleging she had an affair with a married police officer surnamed Lee. Lee was a member of Kolas's security detail during her election run. On Facebook, Kolas said the report blew the matter out of proportion and that she did not know Lee was married. She said she did not engage in intimate behavior with Lee and apologized to everyone involved. For his part, Lee says Kolas was a source of support for him at a time when his marriage was going through difficulties. He said he did not let Kolas know about his marital complications and apologized. He too said the two of them did not have an intimate relationship. But Lee's wife is not letting either Kolas or her husband off the hook. She has filed a suit against Kolas in Hualien District Court. On Facebook, Lee's wife said her entire family supported Kolas's campaign, only to be repaid with infidelity. President Tsai Ing-wen has accepted Kolas's resignation. The presidential office says it wouldn't comment on personal matters. It's an unfortunate humbling for one of the country's few high-profile politicians from an indigenous background, the first indigenous Taiwanese to serve as cabinet spokesperson and later spokesperson for the president. John Su and Leslie Liao for TaiwanPlus.
Members of Taiwan's Indigenous Amis group are angry with a hotel that used one of their traditional events to try and attract tourists. Bryn Thomas has this story.
Tourists were recently invited to an indigenous cultural festival in central Taiwan, but their tour was organized without the permission of the indigenous Taiwanese people holding the event. Festival participants were angered by what they call the commodification of their culture.
当我们正在做文化学习这件事情的时候，然后一堆游览车出现，带着相机拍照。如果这个是一个教室，或者是这是学校，就是外面有那么多游客，这是被接受的吗？
The event was organized by a local hotel and marketed as a romantic and joyous festival. The hotel has since issued an apology, but community leaders say it is not enough.
总归一句，就审理的负责人或是相关的公关人员，要正式的道歉，不能再一昧的推给员工。
The incident throws a spotlight on the role Taiwan's indigenous groups play in domestic tourism. Local leaders say that while certain events are open to the public, organizers should consult with them before scheduling tours and respect their traditions.
不管是旅行社或是饭店，在安排游程上，如果要带进部落，一定要征询各部落的意见。在丰年节之前，其实花莲县政府也都会征询各部落的意见，告知重要的事项，要尊重各部落的文化。
Many indigenous groups in Taiwan are happy to share their culture with outsiders, but as with anywhere else, guests should be invited if they're to be truly welcome. Howard Chong and Bryn Thomas for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching Here's What Happened. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, check out these doggies taking part in the 2023 World's Ugliest Dog Contest held in California. I'm Eric Gao. Take care and see you next time.